feel out there? How are you feeling this spring?
Yeah, I feel great. Yeah, came out of the gates, trying to get quick outs, and I did that on the first guy. And then, I ended up walking Lewis, which, wasn't the worst thing in the world. Yeah, mindset after I walked him was like, hey, let's get a double play ball quick, Ended up throwing him a slider that he could hit, and he ended up yanking it, which, kind of scared me a little bit. But set him up later in the at-bat to kind of get him looking in, go out. Yeah, it felt great.
You hit a 98 with a couple of those heaters. Do you feel like the velo is kind of where you want it to be, or is it maybe even ahead of schedule at all? Or?
I think I approached the offseason a little differently with, my throwing program and getting hot early, trying to come in here and compete. I'm at my best when I'm, throwing hard. So, not really didn't do much differently, just kind of, sped it up a little bit more. That's about it.
So where did you start it up relative to what your usual timeline is?
Started literally 2 weeks earlier, just tossing than I normally would. And, I'm in a good spot. My body matured a little bit this offseason with a little bit of weight gain and whatnot. So it feels great.
What do you feel like to face a pretty representative lineup today and just to do as well as you did against them?
Yeah, I know I can compete with those guys. Base Royce Lewis, which is a guy that is a big name. Done well in the big leagues these past couple of years, and Willie Castro, another guy, tough outs. Royce spit on, I know, at least 2 pitches, and I was like, man, if I was hitting, I would have swung at those things. But yeah, they're big league hitters for a reason. I'm glad I can compete against them. And
Second appearance, just kind of what have you been able to take away, I guess, just from, facing lineups?
You don't have to be too fine like you do, but you don't. In my mind, I try to throw everything down the middle, and, let the movement play how it is. And, kind of getting a little too cute with it. Guys aren't going to swing it. Like, for example, on Royce, I threw a slider low and away. My first 4 pitches of the outing were fastballs up. He's not going to swing at anything low because I haven't thrown anything low, so he doesn't respect it. Just little stuff like that. If I would have executed a fastball low, then yeah, that would have played off great. But little stuff like that of big time big league hitters aren't going to swing at it, and they're going to spit on it, every day of the week. So learning that stuff is really good.
Kind of get a little strike the ball in some of those?
Yeah, a couple of them. Just a couple of the sliders. Executed one to Willie Castro, which was nice, the one that he pulled. And exactly what I wanted to happen was, get him early, get him swinging early, and sneak a heater by him. And thought I did that, and he challenged it, which is it's crazy. Less than half an inch. Makes you happy when you're standing on the mound, but it felt great.
I was going to ask you, what was that like to get that challenge and just to deal with ABS and spring training?
I've never had a pitch, get called for a strike, challenged, and missed by less than half an inch. I had a couple that, get called, strikes, and they, inch and a half is what they missed by, and they get overturned, which is like, yeah, that wasn't a strike. Like, I'll give it to them. But when something like that happens, you're just like, man, it makes you just kind of mad. But yeah, it's part of the game. Kind of now, it's getting there. We're gonna have to adapt to it. So it is what it is. But
as someone who throws strikes, that doesn't seem like it's going to affect you. Like, you're not going to let this. It's not going to take away from your arsenal. What is it?
No, it's I can throw everything I have for a strike. It's like I don't really think much of it. But I had it in Indy, and it wasn't too hard. But yeah, there are some pitches like the one today. It's just like, man, I executed what I did to perfection, and it didn't go my way. Which screw it. Next pitch, ended up getting a double play, get out of the inning. That's all you can ask for. Put up a 0, so I'm not mad.
I was going to say a little bit of the validation there, getting on the very next pitch, getting the double play.
Yeah, it's like, you always say ball doesn't lie, and, technology, man. Gosh, hate it. But
This is probably a question you need a little runway for, but does this camp feel at all different than, the last couple, now that you're all not the major leagues are pretty close to its site?
Yeah, not trying to treat it any differently. Everyone here has a job to do, and that's get ready for 162 games. And that's kind of how I'm treating it is, get everything going now early. Some of the finer pitches, like a changeup, curveball, slider. If you're messing with them now, you got a month to get them right. I'm not super mad at, my past 2 outings of like, hey, you know, didn't necessarily dominate, you know, strike everybody out, you know, how you want to, but, you know, landed strikes, got out of the innings pretty quick, you know, and the bad stuff that did happen, it's stuff that's, you know, could go 50-50, and it's stuff that you can fix really, really easy, so not mad at all.
How much, we talked yesterday about how you're not looking ahead,
Yeah.
but how much of this is maybe kind of planting some seeds in people's minds that this is what I can do, and I'm going to show you here against major league hitters in spring training?
Yeah, you know, hopefully I get some more opportunities to, you know, throw a little longer, not go 1 inning, and, you know, show, you know, Shelty, you know, some of the guys, like, hey, like, you know, whether I'm ready or not, like, you know, I'm going to compete as hard as I can, and, you know, hopefully put myself in a position to, you know, get to Pittsburgh one day.
But do you feel like answering that ABS challenge with the way that you did is one of those type of things to say, you know, the game mentally, you're prepared for that?
Yeah,
that type of thing?
100%. You know, me and Solomita were talking about today. It's like, you know, we were standing in this locker room, you know, 3 years ago in low A, just like, you know, young kids, you know, so immature, and just like, you know, where we are now is, you know, with our game, with our life, it's like, you know, it's completely different. It's like, you know, 3 years ago, challenge system, that happens. Bubba Chandler's walking that guy, like 100%, no doubt in my mind. Even if it was, you know, 0-2, I'm gonna walk that guy. And for me, getting back in there, throwing strikes, get a double play, like for myself, it's, you know, it's a little fist bump, like, hey, you know, you've grown, which is nice.